Hello, Falcons. This video is about Canvas requirements for next year. If you go to Canvas, Highlands Ranch School of Resources, get to that nuts and bolts page and click on Canvas, you'll see the instructor guides, a reminder about 24/7 chat, some instructions organized by type that you may want to take a look at, as well as the Canvas requirements for next year. At the top of the requirements for next year is the checklist. That's the document with the red banner at the top that goes through all of the how-to on everything you need to do at the beginning of the year, starting with like, are you going to cross list? Those types of things. So that's available. If you need more sandboxes because you're teaching something new, please send us a request. And why do we have requirements and why are we changing our requirements? I did a new survey of students. We've had a lot of parent feedback. We've been talking a lot with other schools and talking with our department chairs and teachers, and basically got that all down to we need some uniformity to help our students. It provides equity for our students. If it's really hard to figure out where the current work is in one class as compared to the next, it can make it more difficult for students that have trouble navigating the internet and reading. So we're trying to make things really simple. It also just can help with when kids are feeling the overwhelm. If it's easy to find the current work, all that will help. So right here are all the requirements written out, but I'm going to skip us down to start looking at a home page. Basically, this is what it looks like. It's going to come on your new courses that you'll be having access to on July 29th. And we're asking that you do not import your old home page. Just even if you import it, don't select it as your home page, but that you use the new home page because of this new order. So what we'd like is the course name. We'd like that HR symbol, and basically, bam, lead right into the weekly agenda. So we're not including a big banner across the top with a flag or with an image. There is a place over here for some images if you'd like, but we'd like this on the left to be pretty straight up simple. So what this looks like is if I go to the actual template itself and I click edit, you can see I've got everything in a hidden table. So you can add an image over here. You can add an image next to your teacher information, put your name down, have whatever hobby you like to share with kids. You can have all that stuff here. But basically, we're saying that we want the front page to be pretty simple with the weekly agendas highlighted right at the top. Okay, then there's options for what that weekly agenda can look like. I have included in that document that we were working through, the Canvas requirements, some of those options. So the first option that we're really recommending is that your homepage link goes to a page that contains all of the agendas. Here is an example. And I've included that in the pages of the template, something like this. So what this would look like is you'd put in the current week's work, and then when we're ready for the next week, you'd copy and paste, move it down one, label it, put new stuff in, or whatever walkthrough of the material makes sense to you. But it is really nice to have the most recent stuff at top. One advantage to having all of this on a Canvas page is what you can do is when you're editing and updating it, if you go down below the text box, you can add a date on it and add it to the student to do for next Monday. And so if you had titled this page weekly agendas and you add something like Algebra 1, then it shows up as Algebra 1 on their to-do list for Monday. So number one way that you could do this is a homepage link that goes to a page with all of the agendas. Another thing you could do is your homepage contains the weekly agenda. So in that spot where it says weekly agenda, you have it there. That's great. You will need to update that homepage every week to add the new agenda. And you need to think about where you're going to be housing the old agendas. How can people access old stuff? If you're just moving it all into a document and they're all lined up there, great. As long as there's a way to get to other stuff. from the past. Next, your homepage could link to a module that contains weekly agendas. This is only weekly agendas. Over here is an example of how you could interweave agendas with content. That works. You would need to be updating those modules with the new material. And one thing you just want to make it really easy is don't have it linked to all of your content so where kids have to wade through and figure out what date it is. The whole object of this is so that it's easy to find current work. Another option is your homepage could link to a weekly agenda page with links to all of the agendas, as long as it's clear. Because a best practice is to make those organizational structures clear to your students by having some commonality with what other people are doing, so that as they move from one class to the next, they're not having to remember where everything is, especially some of our students that have special needs. If they're moving in and out of gen ed classes, right? If we can all have some sort of similarity, or if students are dealing with overwhelm, there's just so many reasons that this gets to be too much for students. And it also just speed of use, if it's all organized the same. And so if you will explain your organizational structures in Canvas to students in person, that is great. I recommend that you start out every week or every day by opening it up and showing them. But the other consideration is, what about people who don't get that explanation, like our parents and support staff? So that's basically the overall walkthrough of that. Just a quick reminder, the Canvas course checklist has all that how-to stuff about selecting courses to be visible on your dashboard, cross-listing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to get access to your courses July 29th. And then we will be setting up the next year. Hope this is helpful.